Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Little Italy of Los Angeles podcast. We're so thrilled to have you and our guest, Dr. Federico Pacchioni. Thank you so much for being here. You are the Associate Professor of Italian Studies at Chapman University. You pretty much helped develop much of the program there. So thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. What is the associate professor of Italian studies? Chapman is a large and very distinguished university, and I know there's many courses that you teach there over at Chapman. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh, well, so really, the Italian Studies program at Chapman is the most lively academic program in on Italian language and culture in Orange County, and uh,
Hmm.
and we teach a variety of courses. Both on Italian language, different levels of proficiency, but also on the culture. And so we have classes on literature, cinema, society, history, but also many different disciplines like business, art, and even the sciences. We have quite a bit of interdisciplinary offerings for students who want to connect with Italy in many different fields. And I
Yeah.
take some of these classes, and I help kind of directing the program and pushing it in the right direction.
List for us some of the courses that you have because it's not just Italian language, right? It's everything from Italian culture. Could you tell us some of those courses? I personally found them extremely interesting and really vibrant. I can't imagine what it's like in one of your classrooms when you get everybody going to talk about it. Tell us a little about some of the classes in particular.
Oh, yes. So I have so many wonderful memories I could share from my teaching. I really love that part of my profession. And we have courses that help students making that connection with Italy, regardless of their career path. So we have courses, for example, on the business culture of Italy, where students learn how to present themselves professionally in Italian, how to go through the job application process and interview, and they get to meet with several guest speakers who tell them about different fields. But then we also have a course on the Made in Italy, where students learn about fashion, design. We have courses that focus on the more traditional aspects of the culture, like the classics of Italian literature, but also courses on cinema, which is such a wonderful way, to learn about society and also to practice your language. And so the students in these courses are really connecting with Italy. They are discovering new parts of it. They are practicing their language and also their cultural skills. And it's quite varied and exciting. But I also, if I have to talk about my teaching and what we are offering at Chapman, it's very important to mention the travel courses, the study abroad programs that we have. And those are probably the most exciting classes that students can take, where they get to be in Italy for several weeks, often live with an Italian family, and really go under the skin of a specific place and become familiar with the atmosphere, the community, the history of a specific area of Italy.
So, in the travel program, where are some of the places that the students go to in Italy to study?
We have study abroad programs in Florence, in Rome, but also in Sicily. And we're starting a new program in the Bay of Naples, in Sorrento. So quite
Oh,
a variety of options. Ideally, students, if they want to, they can do their study abroad several times in different locations, so they become familiar with the diversity that you have in Italy. Because as you all know, when you travel in Italy, you realize immediately that it is a country made of many different countries, many different regions, and places that need to be discovered on their own. And so we want to give that variety.
right. Which I think is something a lot of people don't quite realize, that it's very different as you travel from region to region, because it wasn't always one large country called Italy, so we very much have our regions intact as they were. So that's sort of the beauty of Italy, right? And studying Italian culture, it's different depending upon where you are, correct?
I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of the most fascinating aspects of Italian culture. It's just the complexity, the variety, the layers that you can discover,
Yes.
and it is really never ending. I mean, a lifetime is not enough to get to know Italy.
It's definitely not. I'm only just starting myself, and my family comes from there. My all of my grandparents and many relatives. So no, it requires more than a lifetime. But some of the jobs, right, that these kids amass from this incredible program, and the other art fair. That's actually exciting. Could you tell me a little bit about one of your students was working with the other art fair? What is that?
Yes, Brianna Salatino is one of our alumna, and she began working immediately after her finishing the degree in Italian studies at Chapman. She combined a number of different disciplinary concentrations. But immediately after her study at Chapman, she began working for this fair where she was able really to apply her skills and to help this company connect with artists from Italy. And
Hmm.
it was wonderful to hear her story and see how she was able to help these artists who needed that connection, needed that mediator in order to start promoting their work and connecting with the fair.
Yeah, and also there, people who get jobs with the Italian Trade Commission, right? There was one of your students who started working with Gallo wines. I mean, there's so many possibilities. Fashion, right? There's so much that people can do by studying in your with one of your classes, correct?
Yes, there are many possibilities, and really, what is special about Chapman is that we all take the time really to get to learn this, to get to know the students, and help them in their specific with their specific paths. And so
Hmm.
we help them connect with the right people in the community, help them have experiences in certain areas, and we give them the tools that they need to realize their dreams. So that's
Hmm.
what is special about Chapman University, and we do that in Italian studies too.
Federico, how did you end up in Orange County, California? Where are you from in Italy, and how did you get here?
It's a long story, but originally I am from the region of Emilia Romagna. Really, my father from the side of Emilia and my mother from the side of Romagna, and I grew up there. I did my part of my university in Rome, and after that I relocated to the States, where I continued my studies. And then I completed a master and a PhD in Italian literature at Indiana University, Bloomington. And after that, I began my professional experiences and eventually accepted this position at Chapman University a few years ago. And I also have to mention the fact that the position that I hold, and that I'm very fortunate to hold, is the Sebastian Paul Musco Chair in Italian Studies, which brings me to the fact really that our program at Chapman has been supported by the community for many years. And we are very fortunate to have this kind of understanding and help from the community. All of, all of that which we are being able to accomplish has really been because of this general support from the community. So there is this really strong relationship between the university and the community, which brings magical results. And it's something that we definitely want to acknowledge today, I think.
I know kids are really fighting to get into your classes because they are very, very popular. I've spoken to some folks over there at the university that said he's got some of the most popular classes at the entire Chapman University, which is a big testament to you because I know that you design much of your curriculum, right? That's very exciting. You've written books, correct,
Yeah.
on film. Could you tell us about that?
So when it comes to my research, and I'm always been fascinated by the relationship between the arts, how different arts, when you look at them in connection with one another, really open up a horizon that helps us to understand culture, not just understand it, but also to really feel it, to really experience it. So what I do in my research is to focus on these connections. So, for example, how cinema and literature work together. And I've written a book about the cinema of Federico Fellini, which we this year we are celebrating an important moment. And so in that particular book, I really go into the details of how the filmmaker Fellini used to work with different writers and how that collaboration unfolded and how the ideas of the films came about. In another book, more recent, I study the role that the puppet has in Italian culture, which is a theatrical.
Oh,
Mhm. Which
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really part of theater, of that wonderful area of Italian culture, which is popular theater, also extremely varied, rich, and vital. And I look at how kind of this image of the puppet and even the idea of the puppet exists within literature, within cinema, how it inspires different artists. So this kind of research and it's certainly also connected with my teaching because it always brings it back to a moment when I can share it with the students.
Do most of your students speak Italian? And if so, do they speak it fluently?
Well, certainly the students who undertake the major in Italian studies achieve an advanced level of fluency at the end of the semester, at the end of their period of study, especially if they follow us in our travel courses in Italy, where we can really give them that solid experience there of practice and direct connection. So
Mm-hmm.
they do reach a high level of fluency, but we also have students who don't necessarily undertake the language, but they want to study aspects of Italian culture, and they can do that also in courses that we teach in English.
Mm. Do you have to be majoring in Italian studies, or do you have to have a designated major at Chapman University, or can you actually sign up and just take a course there? I don't know how that works there.
A minor concentration or a major concentration.
Mm. Would you say that there are more businesses, Italian American trade, Italian American business, whether it's restaurants, wine, fashion goods, is it become even more popular over the years, in your opinion?
I have to say that in this period of kind of our modern society, Italy has been going through a renaissance economically, especially when it comes to the United States. I mean, this is really a time, has been a time for a decade or so already, where Italy attracts many people in many different areas, and so we are at really it's a good time for Italy in the United States right now, and so there is a lot of demand for Italian products, for Italian experiences, for the Italian lifestyle, and so it's a really fertile terrain to work in. If one has a little bit of entrepreneurship in him or herself, they can really create that individual track through this context.
You said that when you moved here, you intentionally lived in the city of Orange because it's a little town, right? It's a little town square. I wouldn't say similar to where you're from, but at least it was reminiscent of what you had in Italy, correct?
Yes,
Being
yeah.
part of a town, right? So it's very different living here as opposed to living in Italy, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. The experience of the Italian city is so unique. Those are towns that were designed for people more than anything at the beginning, and so they are the product of a different time, of a different lifestyle, And when you are there, you experience all of that, which is a really special thing. Um,
Yeah.
and so, yes, it is true. The old town of Orange has a downtown area, has a place where we can stroll and we can meet and we can see people, and has a little bit of that European
Yeah.
flavor, which is quite unique and rare in this particular area.
So, someone who's interested, they're listening to our podcast and they thought, gosh, I'd love to take a course or I'd love to learn more. Where would you suggest they start? Because again, Italy is so varied. It's not just one country, it's lots of little um, cultures within that country. Where would you suggest they start? What would be a good starting course to take?
I would really encourage anyone, and I do this with my students too, to focus on their interests because we all need to enter a culture based on what we are seeking, based on what it really stimulates us and creates curiosity. And so, if one is really passionate about the arts, should definitely go in that direction. If one
Mm,
has a plan, a business ambition in a particular sector, then they should focus on that one instead. So it's important that we identify what it is that draws us to that culture, what it is that stimulates that curiosity, and then capitalize on that desire to go far in that process. Language comes also through that. Once we have found our connection, we have found people that we relate to around a topic, a goal that we are passionate about, then also kind of all the difficult work that comes when we try to learn a language, to master a language, becomes more spontaneous, becomes less painful in a way.
that's a good way to put it. It's less intimidating, I think, right? Once we understand the culture more, it does become less intimidating to learn something like a language. That's actually very well put. Anything you'd like to tell our viewers about Chapman, about you, about studying Italian, and about going to Italy when we're able to go again?
No, well, I encourage everyone to pursue their curiosity in that direction. And but I also want to take this opportunity to tell to everyone who is listening to really try to support learning and education in any way you can, in your family, with your friends, or by connecting with local programs of schools. It is a very important aspect of our community, and we all need it. Our children need it, the future generations need it, and we need to really pay attention to it. So I want to encourage everyone to support learning and education. And I'm really honored to be in this conversation today. So thank you for inviting me to this podcast. It's really an honor.
We are as well. In fact, Little Italy of Los Angeles, we're located down in San Pedro, which is right there, by the port, which is lovely. And so many Italians originally came to Los Angeles through San Pedro. They were fishermen and beyond. So we have a fairly large community of Italians there, and we would love it if maybe someday when we have one of our when we're able to all gather again, if you come and maybe talk to some of the people there, that'd be really great. We would enjoy that.
I would very much look forward to that. Um, as I said, we really cherish the relationship with the community, and we
Yeah,
to manifest this as many ways that we find. And
yeah.
so, really look forward to our collaboration at that time.
Yeah, or even a little field trip and bring some of the students up. That'd be kind of fun. Once we're able to do that a little more, have a meal out on the streets there by San Pedro. We have lots of great restaurants. So that'd be terrific too. So, well, it's been an honor. We really enjoyed speaking to you. And if people want to get in touch with you, what do? They just reach out to you through Chapman?
Absolutely. You can look up my name and you will easily find the homepage of our program where you can learn more about Chapman and Italian studies, and you also find my email. So don't hesitate to write me if with any questions or if I can be of help in your own learning journey.
Right, that'd be wonderful. And I guess right now all of your studies are online, right? But eventually there will come a day where they're not. But I'm sure that's working out okay, right?
It's been working out quite well, I have to say. We
Good.
all miss our connection and being together in the same room. And we all miss that very much. However, we transitioned quite effectively to online teaching, and we were able to continue all of our program and never missed a class.
Wonderful. That's a testament to you, though. That's what I believe. So thanks again for joining us. I really appreciate Dr. Federico Pacchioni, Associate Professor of Italian Studies at Chapman University. A very exciting place to study Italian studies. So thank you so much for spending the time. Appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you over in Little Italy and down in Orange. So thanks for being part of our Little Italy of Los Angeles podcast. Appreciate that. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. And wherever you get your podcasts, just look us up, Little Italy of Los Angeles. My name is Deborah Zara Kobylt. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Ciao.